And it went directly live without any introduction. Sorry about that.
Hey.
It's technical difficulties time. Well, welcome back to Balsamic Games for our. I'm way down here. I'm down here in the corner. I'm a player this session, but welcome back to Balsamic Games for our first stream of the new year. And welcome, Rose, our first new lore weaver, new GM for the year, and our players. We are going to be playing a new game that we haven't played on stream before. We've been playing in our Discord for about a month now, and that is Plunged into the Dark, as you see up there. Plunged into the Dark is a one-shot generator where you can sit down at a table and have about 3 hours to play a game. And you can generate characters, generate a storyline and a world, all within about a 3-hour window, and play a game to completion in that amount of time. But we have gone ahead and gotten some of the early parts out of the way. So the setting's been generated and the characters have been made. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pass it over to Rose, and Rose is going to introduce the setting that we're going to be playing tonight. Go right ahead. Unless you were frozen. No. I see movement. Rose, can you hear me? As Isabella said, no stream is complete without a little technical difficulties. Can I hear... Wait, it looks like people have gone out of order. I see Mia is in order. But Jay and Jacqueline have switched places.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
It is the technical difficulties day. There's why there was no stinger. Okay. I'm going to get these cameras back in order, and we'll be right back. Nothing. Oh, well, I was about to say nothing like a good 30 seconds of dead air there. Yes, our dice spot is also dead. Both of them, the old one and the new one, both died a gruesome death at our hands earlier today. No, we're having some hosting issues with our dice spots. So, looks like Rose has disconnected for just a moment, but... Oh, please bear with us. Thank you, everyone, for being here. All right. Yeah, the Brady Bunch intro looks a little different. I can see it.
Poor Rose.
Yeah.
Her internet was rough earlier, too.
Yeah. Poor Mia, trapped between two windows.
Oh, that's usual. It's always like that. I'm always trapped between two dimensions.
There's the living and the dead.
Yeah, that's what I get.
At least it's only a shoulder in the one.
Yeah, well, it gets cold over there, so I tend to keep the rest over here.
It's a cold shoulder?
Yeah, that's my cold shoulder. That's the one.
Yay!
Here we go.
We get a Rose back.
Yeah, Discord does not like this. Actually, this computer does not like Discord. So, yeah, as soon as you started talking, it went in and out, glitchy, started cutting in and out. I'm just like, what? I pay for the best internet in the world, and I get this? It's 2023. Can we not have, like, computers and technology that, like, work
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that?
now? Like, isn't that supposed to be the stereotype? I digress.
Oh no,
I think we're getting some
we're losing
audio
her.
and video delays coming from you as well, for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard you
Again,
perfectly
because Discord
there.
hates this computer.
I think last time we had some difficulties like this, Vice switched to their phone and it worked like perfectly. But every phone is different, so I don't know if that would work for you.
That might work. I'll just have to do a switch over. Just give me. Sorry to exit on you guys again. Just one sec.
It happens.
Do you mind if we do some introductions of our characters?
Oh.
Goodbye. That's okay.
Well, we get my cat cam over here.
Ooh.
She's stretching. You stretching, Moose?
What's the
Yeah.
name?
Moose.
Moose?
Yeah. Like chocolate mousse
Nice.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh. That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sweetheart. But also, like, she fights.
I'll do that. My cat is ignoring me because I am in his room, technically.
Hi, Nerdy Ginger Girl. Thanks for the first time chat. We're experiencing some technical difficulties, but there is Cat.
There's Cat.
If the technical difficulties continue for too much longer, I'll bring one of my pet pigs up as well.
Oh.
That's incredible.
They're sweethearts. Persephone and Stevie Nicks.
I love those names.
Yes.
It's all Andrea coming up
That's
with those
amazing.
awesome names. We liked Nix NYX, but we were like, can we do it? Can we pull it off? And then I said, well, we could call her Stevie for short. And she's like, okay, well, that's her name.
That's very good.
Because almost all of our animals are named after gods and goddesses.
That was
Whoa.
almost a cat fail, actually. Very close call.
I just have a fish, so I can't bring him to the screen.
You could, it'd just be a little chaotic.
It would be very chaotic, yeah. I would have to do it very quickly and then run back.
What do you
Fish are
have?
cute.
I have a fish.
Oh,
a beta fish.
yeah, they don't like it out of the water
No.
too much.
No, he got mad at us last night because we changed his tank water and he had to be in a special other cup.
Mm.
Yeah, he immediately swam away from us when we put him back in.
I just got special dispensation from Rose for us to introduce our characters.
All right.
So I think I will have Jacqueline go first. And feel free to introduce yourself as well, since
Sure.
you're all new to this channel.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not new to Twitch streaming and TTRPGs, but I am new here. So hi. I will be playing Adrian, who uses he, him pronouns. And he is the woodcutter's son. And his father really would like him to be a woodcutter, but he has a calling for the outside world, and we'll see where that calling brings us tonight. Yeah, and he's just your classic stoic woodcutter, very tall, very muscular, but very calm demeanor and super chill.
Nice. Welcome back, Rose. Mia, do you want to go ahead and introduce your character and yourself?
Sure. Hello. My name is Mia. I use she, they pronouns. And I will be playing Ophelia today, who uses she, her pronouns. Ophelia is the apprentice of the village's blacksmith. She is an orphan. The blacksmith kind of took her in after her house burnt down due to unknown circumstances, and while her mother was sleeping, so she ended up all alone. She is a very calm person, keeps to herself, very focused on work, just does her part of the work and goes on with her day. And that's it for now. You'll find out the rest during the game.
Awesome. Jay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jay. I go by she, her pronouns. And tonight I'll be playing Judith, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is a shepherd working for her family's farm. And mostly she just likes sitting out there with the sheep, keeping busy. So she's not quite, up on social niceties. Because the sheep don't really care.
Not much.
Bye.
And hi, I'm Gavin. I use they, them pronouns. I'm usually a forever GM here, but Rose is taking my place today. Thank you so much for that. I'm playing Argus. His pronouns are he, him, / good boy, because he is an Irish wolfhound. He is approximately 180 pounds and 3 feet tall at the shoulders. And he has been sort of the village stray. He comes in and out of the village from time to time, and one of the few creatures that is willing and daring enough to go into the deep woods. And so, yeah, he is going to be joining our adventures today.
Sort of a last-minute addition, but hey, what can you do? And I am Rose, who's been having a whole lot of technical difficulties. So, hey.
Well, you look and
but
sound great. Now.
Thank you. I do every time. She do this every time. Yeah, I'm hopefully Gavin, while I was getting all ready there, as well. A little bit of Plunged into the darkness to get people tempted. It's my first time running this game, so be gentle. I will also be gentle during my play for the most part. I very much am the type to run a very good, a lot of character interactions per se. So if you're here for a really good story, I'm here to give it to you. I hope everyone's here. All right, enough of this. Let's just dive in. On my Mac, PM. All right. Welcome to the village. Each of you has grown up here. For as long as you've lived, you've been free to roam and play wherever you like, except for that one part of the woods. A long, long time ago, more than 100 years or so, the founder, Zachariah Dubois, did something in that part of the woods. Never been too specific what happened there, but something happened. At this point in time, you've grown up, and as is tradition in this village, you are now youth. You are now old enough to venture out into the village, outside of the village, I should say, to make a name for yourself. Today is that day, and there is a mixture of emotions, but you can feel that there's excitement. Not to mention, there's just this nagging, pulling to a certain part in the depths of the forest you just can't seem to shake. I would like each of you just to roll 1d6.
Got a 4.
And
I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Got a 3.
Perfect. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let us start with Judith. You are the first aroused to wake up in the morning. Where are you? Describe where you are.
I am probably wrapped in a blanket out on the hills. after watching a night over the sheep. Just out keeping them company and looking out for predators.
Nice. From what you can hear at this point in time, you do start to hear some of them have a bell on them, and you hear a little bit of clanging of the bells. And you get a whiff of definitely a sheep smell, for sure. Kind of wake up, you see the beady eyes, or at least the weird eyes of the sheep, like looking at you.
Get out of here. Just kind of stretch and stand up. All right, is everyone accounted for still? I go ahead and start counting heads.
Be careful not to fall asleep doing that.
Everyone's there and accounted
Thankfully,
for.
I've just woken up.
Remind me, does Judith have family, or is anyone out looking for it? I don't know.
No one's out with me at the moment. Most of my family works back at the farm. So the sheep have sort of fallen under my jurisdiction unless I have the day off.
Well, that's when you do start to hear your name being called from the farm. It's a woman. It sounds like its mother. You recognize that call very, very
well. I will do a quick sweep to make sure nothing's sneaking around, and then I'll head over that way to Mother.
As you make it back to the farm, everyone else seems to be rousing, waking up. Any brothers or siblings or sisters that have a family are waking up with just general boost encouragement from the old folks. Oh, come on, sleepyhead, get out of bed. Oh, make their way to get washed up for breakfast, or is that everyone's quickly stops? You see your mother. Her hair is tied up in a bun, her sleeves rolled up as if they're ready to work, and yeah, she has very powerful arms, like she's going to be needing dough all day. She turns to Steve and just goes, "Oh, I see. I was sleeping in the sheep again, were you?"
Well, yeah, it's a lot more comfortable out there than sharing beds with the twins.
No, that makes sense. No, I've heard Sybil has a tendency to kick. Little Thomas, non too keen to but well, he's gonna be taking your spot for the day. As you know, it's that time of year.
Oh, is it that time already?
Yeah, you're old enough now.
Is that something I gotta do, or can I just, stay out there with the... Seems...
I mean, the tradition
more
is
my
pretty
speed.
strict. I understand. The tradition is pretty strict. I'd say at least give it a week if you need to. Come on back. We've got fun. We won't say. We're not that kind of village.
Yeah, that's fair.
No one
All
says
right.
you have to go out there and do absolutely nothing. As she does, she's casually just bringing you into the house. And there is, in fact, actually a bit of dough that she's just going to take there and just put into somewhere warm and dry just so it just has time to brew. To get started on another batch or going to prep the flour. No one says if if it's not for you, you can't come back. Said you're quite valuable here on the farm too. I do appreciate having you.
Just feels the right place to be. I don't really want to leave.
Well, see what it's like out there. Otherwise, your grandmother got pester you if you don't leave. If you haven't tried, or if you haven't gone out, how do you know you're not going to like it? You know. And you're always a fan of her logic. And she gives a bit of a wink and a nod and just keeps kind of knowing Grandma, like, you don't like it.
Didn't think about Grandma. When does it start? Maybe I should go.
Whenever you're ready. either tidy up or stick around for breakfast. Hot cross buns this morning.
Ooh. I guess I'll stick around
First
for
batch
breakfast.
going in the oven. First batch in the oven. Give it a half hour. It's like really early in the morning, so I don't think any of your other companions will be ready yet. Before it slips my mind, the old wise woman, old Matilda at the edge of the woods. She wants you to see her
Yes.
before you go. Thank you.
Before I go out to the.
Before you give it a
I
try out in
forget.
the real world.
Okay. Sure. Great. That's fun. Okay. She likes
Really
me.
sweet. I know you've helped her out before. Of course she does. Give her a hand to ever help her out now and then. She's gonna be on your good. If you're like your brother Johnny though, and go breaking our fence, that's gonna get her on. So don't be
Well,
Johnny.
Johnny can't keep track of his feet even though they're underneath him. So.
Mm. When the time comes when he gets a girl, his feet are gonna be swept right out from under him. I'm sure.
Probably.
Oh, before I forget, and she actually then goes into sort of outside the kitchen and back in again, and she has some traveling gear for you. This is your setting
Oh.
item that I forgot to write. And it is one item, whatever it is, when it comes in handy. As the time comes, if you have to need every kind of like item whatsoever, that's the item that I'll let you decide.
Okay. Well, thanks. I totally would have forgotten this without you bringing it out.
I almost did. You and I are cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm really gonna miss being here.
We're gonna miss you too. And she pulls you into. Actually, she offers first, just like hug,
I step into the hug, just wrap my
and you get the
scrawny arms around
biggest,
it.
and you get the biggest, warmest hug that you've gotten. You hear her heave a little sigh, a little bit. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't cry. I'm doing it. I'm just gonna take it out on the dough. I love you. You're wonderful. Don't ever change. You just go to beating the dough.
I'll probably be back within a week. It'll be fine.
I sure hope so. We're gonna take a little clip from there and go to sorry, what was the one there who had three? And when they roll their dice with three, I think that was Ophelia.
Yes, I had the 3.
You had the
Indeed.
3. Okay, perfect. Ophelia, you're next to wake up.
Oh.
What do you see? What's around you? Describe
Wake up from my very shoddy, uncomfortable bed inside of the blacksmith's hut. Just crawl out of bed, crack of dawn, go get dressed, go get my hammer, head outside for the forge. Grab maybe a piece of old bread from the night before, just to have something in my stomach before starting the work. And then start getting the forge lit up and ready.
Funnily enough, you don't have to worry about that, actually. Your father is usually one who's up a little bit earlier. He's been doing quite a bit. Knows you're usually up after him at some point, but he's lit the forge. As you enter into the forge, you feel the warmth, a familiar warmth on your face, and you see the embers and the sparks fly, and the very familiar clanging of your father, the smith, hammering away at. I think he's actually working on the broadsword this time.
So Ophelia would approach him and ask what needs done this morning, and she just keeps it really short. Half asleep still, but ready.
He jumps a little bit because he's just so hyper focused on on the sword and blade that he's working on. and the clang he's just sort of used to of it echoing in the actual room itself. He didn't notice you when he came in. He kind of jumps a little bit. And, oh, you're awake, and he then tempers the sword in some water and looks over. Don't think there's much done being doing today. You know, it's that day. The time has come for
Oh,
you.
right. That's the day where I break the routine, isn't it?
Kind of is. But
Yeah.
hey, you know, it's the village's traditions. Nothing saying you gotta be gone for long. Oh, I was gonna save this for later, but I figure I'll go give it to you now. You know, the mayor's son got a new horse and a girl to impress, so I'm making his sword for him now and wants it rushed. So I'm working on that. But I wanted to give you some. He goes into a nearby chest and actually pulls out adventure gear for you. Again, it is
Oh,
whatever item that you feel that you need at a time, point in time. Um, that seems fit and work for your character. Give this to you.
Philia takes it. She nods her head in thank, and she looks up at the blacksmith and she's like, you know, I actually this might be good. I might be able to learn a thing or two out there and come back and, you know, be better at what I do.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely always welcome back. You know you got a home here. I just wish I could provide better space. You know,
It's good enough.
and he kind of scratches his balding head and maybe even like thumbs his beard a little bit. You know, I wasn't, if I can be honest, I wasn't really prepared to take on a kid, let alone a girl. But hey, you took on everything, and you're great. You're fantastic. Anything that you go out and see and bring back, I'm really cool. I'm really excited to see. And then
She
there's this really awkward moment where he just stands looking at you, and you stand looking at him, and anyone
yes.
outside is going like, "What are they going to do next? This is a standoff." But this is how you show emotion with each other, and it's normal and it's okay, and you're good vibes. It doesn't feel awkward. Just on the outside, it looks great.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah, there's this exchange and understanding of this.
Yeah, Philia just looks at the blacksmith and just nods in understanding of the feeling they share, but she says nothing. She just nods and gives him kind of a thank you glance, and then uh, holding all the stuff she just received, she kind of looks at it and is like, I'll go prepare now and put that in a more practical fashion.
Before you leave, make sure that you go and see, you know, the witch that lives in the village. I mean, wise woman. She really is sensitive about that sort of stuff. So,
Oh, I have to go see her.
yep. And I'm gonna go get a charger. Here we go. Here's the world I live in. Okay.
Um,
Looks like our follows are finally catching up to reality.
yay!
Thank you for the two people that gave us a follow in the last little bit.
There we go.
At least two. It looks like I might have missed one. Guardian Rain, thanks for the follow.
Um, yeah, so Ophelia would look a bit apprehensive at the mention of visiting the Matilda.
And just based off of your look, you know, he sort of just goes, I know, I know. But she said, when she says something, you don't do it, she gets kind of mad. So let's not make her mad. Let's just be good neighbors.
I'll do
Because
it,
the
but
first thumbs up.
yeah. Philia nods and she's like, "I'll do it. I don't understand why I have to do this, but I'll go. And what's the worst that can happen, right?" And she kind of turns
Worst
around
that can
and
happen, I don't even want to imagine.
that's not very reassuring. But yeah, she would just go back and start packing her things and start heading
Yeah,
towards the wise woman's hut.
perfect. Next hut over. I believe Jacqueline, you had the two when you rolled. So Jacqueline, Adrienne, you wake up. Where are you?
In my father's hut, probably, he probably shares a room with his sister, and she is probably already awake, and is probably the reason he is awaking. He can hear her like, she's an artist and is just like scratching, charcoal on paper, and he can hear it. And he'll roll over, kind of grunting as he's getting up out of bed. Uh, Morning.
Oh, you're awake. And she goes over to you and actually she just kind of like just hops on bed and just hugs you and guess what day it is?
Um, I don't know. Middle of the week, maybe?
Close. It's you heading out of the village and finding a name for yourself.
Oh. Oh, that's
You're
that's
so
right.
lucky.
Well, it will be nice to kind of do my own thing for a while, but I suspect that father will want me back.
I mean, he'd have more of a fit of me going out in the real world. That's not going to be for eh, another 3 years. He gives you sort of the stink face.
Yeah. But I mean,
Ever since
you've
Mother
got
died, it's
lots more
been more
going for
than all
you.
of these. Oh yeah, lots more. The voices just don't want to talk or shut up every time.
I can cut
Hey,
wood.
if you're awake enough, you should come see what I've been working on.
Okay. And he like rubs his face and like does the whoo. Okay, I'm all right. I'll what did you make?
You go over to where she was sketching, and she shows you sort of the little like tablet or kind of thing with paper that's on there that she's been working on and charcoal. And her fingers actually have been a little bit musty from working with the charcoal and smudging. And it's a really like impressionistic interpretation of the woods. And what you see is just a pathway, sort of archways with trees. But as it goes further in and as it gets darker, you do see some of the trees just sort of bent in place, sort of unnaturally. As a woodcutter and as a practical woodcutter, it's normal to see trees that are bent. Usually, if they're on like some kind of a hill slope and there's been a really strong wind, and that's normal. But this isn't a forest passing clearly a forest, and these ones are bent and curved in quite on purpose. So it looks weird, but then again, your sister is prone to showing you um, her drawings for the most part. They've not ever been prosthetic before, but this one's sort of just like, hmm. And you remember there's a little something that just popped into your head of just like, hmm, something kind of like it was calling to you. Something about that looks familiar, but you don't necessarily make too much of a connection to it. At this point in time, it's your sister who's pretty much connected to everything, and just is picking up on this and just it's come out in drawing form. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. Her visions, if she ever has one or if she ever calls on one, are usually more specific than this. This is just something out of her system, so her head's clear, and you know this.
Rose, your camera froze again.
Oh, lovely. Hang on. I might just have to turn it on and off again.
Yeah.
Oops.
Mia, lean toward the edge so you don't get cut in half. Well, yay! Welcome back.
Did that work? Did that work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I'm moving. All
One
right.
of our dice spots came back online too.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Lovely.
so
Exciting.
use exclamation point and then the number of dice you need to roll. It's not the right dice spot, but it'll do. It does most of the same functions. So.
Is it still under the special event?
Dice
yeah?
dash rolling.
Okay.
Right above where the channel we're in.
Perfect. Okay.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's actually at this point, Adrian and Kayla, you both hear actually a knock at the door, followed by your father's voice. Are you two up yet? I can hear voices in there.
Yeah. We're gonna.
All right, coming out for breakfast. Oatmeal's ready. To which you hear the distinct, disgruntled oatmeal from Kayla.
Yeah, but
That we
it's
should
good
eat
for
it.
you.
I like it. We should come.
And he'll,
Gets up,
yeah, he'll get up.
Her hand on her like nightgown. You see sort of the handprints from her charcoal is just on the like lap part there, and check her hands. Now I'll give her a proper wash. And she steps outside the room and hear the water pump running for her. And then you hear them having a distinct little nonsensical conversation. Oh, I was just showing my brother my drawing. Another one? Yeah, it was the woods this time.
Yeah, and he'll go out into the kitchen area, grab some oatmeal.
In your seat, when you head over, when you finally do grab a bowl full of piping hot oatmeal, you head over to your spot there, and where your usual spot is, and all set. That you do see some adventure gear, a piece of item that's going to be really handy for you when it comes in handy. Just happens to be
Excellent.
sitting on the actual little stool or chair, whichever that you have there. Kayla joins you, and your father also has two bowls. One that he gives to Kayla with a little bit of raisins in it, and one for himself. Like, Adrian, raisins?
Yeah, I guess today's a big day. I should eat as much as I can.
I get as much energy as possible. It is that day.
Yeah. Kayla
She
reminded
gets a
me.
little pile of raisins and puts it right next to her. And she, when she hears her name, she just smiles at you.
He like smiles back a little bit and then back to being like shoving oatmeal in his face.
Yeah, breakfast is, besides the fact that there was just like a small conversation between Kayla and your father, it's abnormally quiet. Usually there's a little bit more banter, but yeah. If you look up or notice, Kayla's kind of looking between the two of you in between mouthfuls of oatmeal and sort of avoiding eating oatmeal and making sure there's plenty of raisins in it. That's something to mask over the bland flavor of oatmeal.
Sounds about right.
Between the two of you. I mean, are you guys not going to say anything? To which your father just simply goes, huh?
Say anything about what?
You guys both forgotten the anniversary of, well, Mom's cat. I'm not sure she's kind of just thumbs or like twiddles around with the last little bit of oatmeal in her bowl. Kind of looks in her bowl a little forlorn.
Oh, that's also today. Hmm.
A bit of sweet. And then, like, what if you don't come back? You want to come back? And then father, pipes on in. Well, of course he's gonna. I can't just have myself out in the woods there. I'm getting old in years. Someone's gotta make sure and take care of me. But I can take care of myself. I'm fine. Not with your sensitivity. Not. No, you're very picked up on everything. You can't just take care of yourself. You need someone to look after you. At that point, she knows better than to fight with him. Plus, she doesn't seem to have the energy for it. Kind of does puppy dog eyes at you and just like you gotta go.
Yeah.
They're pretty strict, I guess.
I'll probably be back. You'll be okay for
Oh,
a while.
and Kayla's still looking at you, just again, big puppy dog eyes. If you glance over at your dad, and then if ever there's times that you come back, visit or want to stay again, you have space and go through each other. He has a space here. We're not going to do anything to that bed. We're not going to do anything to this room. Looks over kind of full stanky face and then shrugs and then just goes, okay, well, I can let you go on one condition. I get the biggest big brother hug in the entire world. And if you promise to come back after you find me a really cool rock.
Okay, deal and deal.
Okay. And she gulps up the last bit of oatmeal, and actually she just goes and right into just does the behind hug and just tightly hugs.
Yeah, he'll hug her back. No problem at all.
As soon as a hand makes contact onto her, you feel her stiffen, and then suddenly just sort of let go a little bit. You know she's going into a thing.
Sorry, can you
Her arms
repeat the
just sort of.
very last part?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. She
No.
goes into complete trance. Into a
Oh,
complete
okay,
trance-like
okay,
state.
okay.
Her arms slide back off of you, and is completely sort of stiff, and she just sort of looks up and is head tilted and is looking off into something far or close. So she's like looking into the corner of the hut, but then beyond that corner. Like she's seeing something beyond it. Then her eyes close and she falls to the floor. Immediately, your father is up from his chair and goes to get her and picks her up, and she's immediately back in bed. And he's shouting at you, "Get a cloth. I need a warm cloth of water on her head right now."
Yeah, absolutely. And he just immediately, routine how to handle the situation.
You see, when you go to bring the cloth, you see that she's all laid out and very still, very still. But her chest is rising and lowering. She's breathing. She's tired of this. Her eyes then, after a moment, they kind of flutter open. She's like, and she realizes when she sees the two of you looking over her and she's in bed, it happened again, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
You think you can sit up, or do you want to lie down? No, I can sit up. Sits up, wobbles a little bit, and then your dad is in with a warm cloth at the back of her neck. Touches it, his hand, and looks at you just very caringly, and just like as if like you guys are right, just like she can't necessarily take care of herself effectively.
Mm-hmm.
She's very grateful. Um, the picture that she was working on is sort of kitty cornerish around near the foot of her bed, and she looks at it, Then her eyes widen again, and she just gasps. She's not trance-like, but she's just like, I saw that. I saw that. I saw. I saw the path, and you were walking, and it was dark, and the trees were bending in, and then there was, and then, and then she looks right at you, Adrian. It's just like, and then you changed. Only this time, you didn't change back. Anytime that I see you change back, but you didn't change back.
But I always change back. Maybe it ended early?
Maybe.
Hmm.
It never gives me a full picture, so you're probably right. But I don't know. I had a feeling that you weren't going to, but I know you do. But and your dad does the string. All right. Why don't you go lie down? You have a little think about this. Get a little bit of a nap in. More food in you. Was there anything else? Anything else that you wanted? Yes. Make sure you go see old Matilda before you leave.
Okay.
Number one, she'll be mad if you don't say goodbye. Number two,
That's true.
you might ask her about this if you're able to, if you can. I'm not sure if you're leaving with anyone else. I'm sure you're not leaving the village, but if you can, ask about it.
Okay, yeah, I'll be sure. She usually has a good idea of these things.
She does, always. And then she sort of gingerly goes to reach out and just touch your hand.
Yeah, grab her hand.
Take it. She just sighs in relief. And then looks. I know you'll be fine.
Thanks, sis.
Then we catch the last but not least. And then we catch the last but not least, the goodest boy. Hey, Argus, where do you wake up?
We lost your video again. right between scenes. Welcome back. All right.
Here we go.
Yeah. So I wake up. I wake up in a relatively usual position to the feeling of my tail being bit in an alley beside several of the general stores. I bat at the rat that likes to wake me up by chewing on my tail, and then trot out of the alley and start giving puppy dog eyes to all the shop owners, at least whoever has the biggest baguette in their shop window. Yeah.
I mean, you don't know all these people by name because dog.
No.
But you know the guy with the tasty meat that tastes a little chewy and dry that you really really like. He looks like he's got some scraps there for you. He's here, boy. Come here, boy. And you respond to boy. You know a boy. And you hop on over.
Yep.
And you hop on over. You have like a nice little bowl full of shallow bowl, but bowl full of beef jerky and a few other critters. And you feast. You have a very good breakfast.
Must be an important day.
And at that point, I'm gonna say you smell the smell of black smoke. That comes from a very warm place that you don't like to go to because it's uncomfortable, because you like it cool, because you're big and fuzzy. And you actually see Ophelia walk by.
Ah, awesome. I will try to sneak some bread out of the,
Ophelia,
like, fill up my mouth
Ophelia,
with as much food as I can get, and then
Ophelia, you see basically Argus with his head just in the bowl, just like, and then he does puppy dog eyes for like more bread, gets more bread. He's having a good breakfast. But you do see him on the way as you're heading.
Ophelia would stop by to give Argus a couple scritches behind the ears before continuing on her way. Definitely.
Argus,
Good
you
old
are
boy.
grateful for those scritches. You have not been scritched as good as you've been scritched. You've been scritched a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I would imagine she smells like some oils too, working with blacksmiths, and yeah, I might be able to forgive the black powder for the oils and everything, and the smell of whatever food she might be carrying for her travels.
You also then catch a little bit of a whiff of mutton or sheep, actually, and Judith, you kind of appear, and you see Ophelia and Argus.
I start making a figure eight between the two of them.
What are you doing? I don't have anything for
If
you
you could
today.
talk, Argus, what would you say when you hear "What do you do"? Because you hear that too. You hear "What do you do?" If you could talk, what would you say?
I would just be sniffing at them but trying not to get too close. Not much of a talker, as it were. I've found that the more I vocalize inside of town, the more people dislike my me being there. So yeah, I've learned to sort of keep quiet. Maybe some wines if I can smell something that smells particularly delicious. But otherwise, I'm probably going to keep it to a minimum. But yeah, do they?
Yeah, the three of you are gathered at it. They did seem to be on their way somewhere, so I'm going to stick
Awesome.
around and just tag along with them.
Yeah.
You're usually used to Argus, who does tend to follow around sometimes, but if you've been nice to him or given him like a treat or something like that, he does tend to follow. Very food motivated. I can relate to that.
I can personally relate to that as well.
I kind of point out at Ophelia and just say, "Oh, that's right. You're one of the ones coming. You're one of the ones heading out too. You heading to Matilda's?
Excuse me, do I what?
Are you going to Matilda's?
Oh, yeah. I have to go see the old coot. Sorry, I mean, the wise woman for, I don't know. Father said I had to stop by before heading out.
Coot's not the right word. She's more of a hag.
Either or. I feel like we're being unfair, but there's just something weird about that woman. I just don't trust it. She knows too much.
She does see a little too much for my comfort, but I think she's ultimately not a bad person. Just needs to mind her own business sometimes.
Yeah, something like that. And then Ophelia kind of toys with. Ophelia has at all times a leather string with a key on it, and she kind of toys with that as she ponders about old Mathilda. And she looks at Judith and she says, "Wanna tag along then? If we're two of us, I mean, might be less awkward, or more."
I suppose. I feel like wasn't there more of us supposed to be leaving town? I bet they're supposed to be heading over there too. Who was it?
We might meet them along the way.
Say at this point, you actually Argus would be the first because you sniffer the best sniffer in the entire world. good. You smell the smell of other canines and other sort of familiar smells of just like, hey, that's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, you're coming down the walk.
He's just staring at his feet as he's walking. He's got his like hands deep in his pockets, and he probably doesn't even notice any of you.
Let's see if I can disable and re-enable your video and see if that helps. Because you went blank again.
Oh, I love when that happens. I mean, just let me know.
Yeah, it just happened.
Bracing myself for the portal.
Boop.
There we go.
Beep boop.
Oh,
Welcome
I'm
back.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Adrian just come down again. And kind of, did you like have you stopped and just look at your feet, or are you just walking and looking at your feet and sort of not looking?
I think he's made this trip to her house so many times that I think he's just staring at his feet as he's walking. He's probably not even at all aware of anything around.
I'm instantly on guard when I smell other dogs, but then when I realize that it's just a person with the smell of other dogs on them, they get pulled into the figure eight, and eventually I've kind of wrangled the three of them together to where they're almost walking in lockstep with each other.
He'll notice that you're going around his ankles, and there's just a like unspoken acknowledgement between Adrian and Argus.
Yeah.
And then he'll kind of look up and notice that he's not alone anymore. Oh. Hey.
Anything interesting on the road there?
My shoelace was untied, so I was kicking it.
Riveting.
Yeah. Wait.
That's more of an Ophelia thing.
Yeah.
Are you guys too today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh,
We
you're
have
the other
to-
person. Got it.
While they're
Yeah.
talking, I produce the beef jerky from my mouth onto the ground and start eating it up one piece by another, and listen to their conversation.
Wait, are you guys heading to Matilda's also?
Yep. Yeah, we have to head over there to old Matilda's
That's what
before
my mom wanted me
before
told me
heading
to go.
out.
Hmm.
Apparently she wanted to speak to us. I'm guessing us since we're all going.
Maybe also the dog somehow. He seems to be following along.
Yeah,
Well,
just goes where he wants.
yeah.
Actually, Argus, at this point in time, while you're really enjoying and digging the sounds of everyone talking and the taste of sweet and salty meat, that's when you hear actually something pulling from the hut that you usually like to tend to check out with a nice lady there with food scraps.
Mhm.
And you kind of hear her gentle voice and you hear, bring them here. Come on.
Alright, I gather all the food back up into my mouth, sort of shove it into a side pocket, and then I start doing circles and tightening circles around them, and then I jog off down to the opening of the path, and wait there with my tail wagging for them in the direction that they're already going.
Yeah, I mean, Ophelia would follow along and continue heading in the direction that Argus is leading now. Argus the squirrel dog, and kind of
Big trouble.
follow along and kind of she would try to hurry it up a little bit because she wants it to be over with, that whole meeting old Matilda thing, and to get on with it and get the adventure on. She wouldn't communicate that, but you would see that she starts walking faster, like picks up her pace and like quietly like passes you by, and she looks like a woman on a mission, which she is.
Is this going to be a daring journey for them, or easy?
I was just about to ask. What do you guys
I think you froze again, but
think? Boom. Boom. There you go.
welcome back.
So yeah, is this going to be an easy task for you guys? Or is this going to be more of a bold and daring?
I don't think it's terribly hard. I think she's probably, a ways away from the village proper, but
Yeah, they
No.
probably don't want her too close, but yeah, and I think especially for me, I wouldn't say it's particularly bold or daring for me to have to make this journey as a pupper.
Yeah, Adrian's
How
made
about the
this
other two?
trip so often. Like, he goes at least once a week to go see her, so this might just be second nature for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
That
think
works.
for Ophelia,
And
she fears a little bit more than the other the knowledge of Mathilda, because let's just say Ophelia is a little bit more street smart than book smart, and book smart people intimidate her a lot. When they speak, they make her feel kind of lesser than, and there are things that Ophelia feels like Mathilda knows that she shouldn't, or doesn't understand how she would know certain things. So I wouldn't say it's bold, but she's certainly a little bit more apprehensive to visit the old woman. She doesn't hate her per se, but she's cautious and superstitious about her.
for sure. Totally.
Yeah,
But
I
I will
don't.
say you all have different feeling. You all have different feelings about her per se. Do you feel that going and visiting her would expose any vulnerabilities or any weaknesses? Perhaps you
I don't.
Yeah, for Ophelia, yes, I think.
I don't know if this will
Okay.
rise to the level of adventure. Is I think what we're thinking. Uh, is like are there dangers on the road that we might not be aware of? Maybe if I wasn't traveling with, or if I was traveling alone, I might be able to avoid. But since I have people with me, uh, it might be a little more dangerous or a little more daring to try to get them safely there. So I'm trying to figure out
For
if
sure.
this.
I mean, you're going to get around town usually fairly okay within the town limits. Once you're past the nice lady place, that's usually when
Yeah.
I mean, for you specifically, Argus. But yeah, how do people feel about the exposure of any kind of vulnerability? You know, that's happened with old Matilda. We got one response from Celia already.
Is she,
How about Adrian? How about you guys? Do you feel that you would
yeah,
going to visit her might risk some kind of exposure of some kind?
yeah. I guess what I'm wondering is there like a highly variable uh might it be highly variable meeting her, like might it be a very good, easy meeting on one day, but then, you know, a scarier thing on another day. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, it really depends.
I'm down for, you know, the sort of most adventurous, you know, kind of the way of going, but
Yeah, I think after his sister's vision this morning, Adrian's probably feeling a little more on the wary side. He has no idea how she's going to respond, and he's probably not as aware of himself and his surroundings as he could be, with his brain kind of like mulling over everything that has already happened, and it's, you know, probably not even 9 a.m. at this point. So
right. Yeah, I was thinking it's entirely possible that I've been seeing some sort or hearing some sort of bad omens from this path, and so it's something that it's, you know, impossible for me to necessarily communicate. But if I'm seeing these bad omens, maybe that would explain why I'm traveling with them, trying to keep these youngsters a little bit better protected against the potentials for harm. So yeah, let's go the bold and daring route. I think that would be yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's normally not that treacherous of a thing, but signs and portents point to the opposite.
All right. In which case, I'm just gonna roll on the physical dice for this one then. All right. The four of you make your way over to Old Matilda's place. Everything is routine. Everything's fine. Until you get to the door. There's a shroud of some kind. You'd recognize a shroud on a person that looks, you know, a head, shoulders. You're seeing it from behind. But as you look closer, there's no feet.
Mm-hmm.
It is a hanging cloaked shroud, some kind of cloaked shrouded thing. And it's at her front door.
Is it facing us or the door?
What do you do? It's facing the door. It clearly is looking like waiting for the door to open. But there's no movement.
Can I give it a good sniff? Maybe sneak up to it and see if I recognize the scent.
Sure, by all means. I'm gonna say at least going in for a sniff at the very least is fairly routine for you.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like a person.
Yeah.
That person doesn't have feet, but
Yeah.
they could smell. They could smell them. So it's fairly
They
routine
just won't
for you
smell
to-
like feet.
Won't smell like feet.
Okay. Do you think that rises
are you
to the
gonna
level of an action roll? Mm.
I was gonna say, would you like to use that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you will use that.
Yeah, I'm going
In that
to.
case, then.
I'm going to use Hunt to sort of prowl up near the front door, you know, through the bushes, and see if I can get close enough to give him a good sniff. And I think that I'll use my trait Eager, since I'm sort of the first to take action. So I'll sort of stop in front of everybody and get them to hang back, and then disappear into the underbrush, and they see me sneaking up.
As stealthy as a large
Mm-hmm.
Irish hound, and a big dog goes into the brush and goes to actually go have a whiff of what's at the door there.
All right.
And
So
for those playing at home, I'm waiting for the dice roll to go on.
Oh, you want 2 dice? All right.
Oh,
There we go. That is a complete success.
hey, we got our first complete success. Everyone give a pat on the back or
Nice.
take a drink. However you want to throw it. It's better than the game that we played. We had a whole lot of like complete failures at some point.
Yep.
So this is good. This is a good sign. Um, um, yeah. So what happens in this case then? You get a good whiff. It smells mostly like dust, but like it doesn't necessarily have much to it. It's not really good dust. It's kind of damp,
Mm-hmm.
and thankfully, it does not smell like feet. But it doesn't smell like a person either.
Phantom
So
feet.
that's clearly a person up
Right.
there, but it doesn't smell like a person. But it doesn't smell like feet. That's the important.
All right. Well, since I'm up close and I'm just gonna spring onto it and grab a hold of the cloak or the piece of fabric with my teeth, and then just run with the fabric.
Okay. Yeah. That is not going to merit an action. You just do. It's unaware of
Okay.
you, so you very easily get the cloth in your teeth. Pull it and yank it. What you all see is this shroud. Again, where there's an actual hole where the face would be. There is no face, but a whole trail of dust is trailing behind it as Argus yanks on it and pulls it down from the porch and then goes running around with this flimsy little rag, and it is just like laying out what looks like dust. And you also hear like a falling up behind it as if it's wrathfully kind of screaming behind as it's being yanked around by this big old dog.
All right. Yeah. I'll
I
just
think.
throw it down and start stomping on it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think as soon as that happens, Adrian would bolt for the door, and see if it's unlocked or not. Just try to get into the house.
Just as you're about to reach the door in the latch, it does slide open and swing inwards, and you see old Matilda, gray all wizened hair, big long braid down her back, sort of burgundy worn dress that she's always used to wear, some sort of wreath of dried feathers or dried leaves and stuff in her hair. And she looks at all three of you. Get in the house. Get in now.
Without even
Tom?
question.
No time for questions. No time for questions. All
Yeah,
will be
I
answered in the house.
sprint inside the house.
Yep.
Yep. Right in.
Yeah, Ophelia heads in, but not as fast as you'd expect. Like part of her, she's kind of calculating where the bigger risk is for a moment there, and then eventually she steps in, closes the door.
Okay. If you continue to take a thing, you're going to hear from old Matilda. You have more things to fear from that thing and Argus than you do from me. Come on in. Argus, drop it. Drop it.
I'm gonna drop it. All right. Yeah, and then I'll
get in here. Nice and quick.
Back in through the door, growling at it.
And she just like kind of not necessarily like full on straps you, but just gives you a little guiding. Okay, here we go. And closes the door and locks it. All right, we're all here. Thank goodness.
The hell
I'm
was
sure
that thing?
Starting with that one. Wonderful. Well, there is something I need to be able to tell you all, and it's come to my attention very, very recently. And it has to do with the woods. I'm sure growing up you've been told, don't go into the woods. Zachariah Dubois' spirit is there. Ooh, something is out there. There is. I'm here to confirm and tell you there is. Absolutely something else. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But it's not good. That's all that I know. Anyone who has left the village has been taken by it, and a lot of them have come to me before they've left and said they've heard voices. This morning, and she kind of scurries over the table, and she just haphazardly is just like, oh, by the way, please sit, please sit, please sit. It's a little, make yourselves at home, be comfortable. And Ophelia, take that look off your eyes. It's okay, I don't have any spider webs or cobwebs. So I made it clean just for you. And then she goes to where she would look like she has cards all spread out over her table. I did a little thing. I did a little connection thing. And it seems the woods are trying to reach out to me, and they know that. And they know the village here. And that thing that Argus took out, which, by the way, good boy, and she tosses you a treat. Just randomly out of one of like a pocket in her dress, because dress pockets exist in my world. A couple of treats just out of her pocket. Yeah. I need you four, Argus included, go and take a look and see what that is, and hopefully steal it and neutralize it. I have the means to do so. I cannot go because I am the most at risk. If anything happens to me, this village goes down. There will be no village. Can I trust you? Four.
Why
Yeah.
us?
Rough.
Because you are of age and of the transition, you can leave the village willingly without any restrictions.
I mean, if the village is in danger, I feel like it's I owe it to the villagers to help protect it. For personal reasons. Don't ask.
Oh, and I know what those reasons are. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm about 3 steps ahead every single time.
Ophelia takes a step back against the wall when Matilda mentions knowing why. She tries to stay stoic, but it's for once her stoic shatters for a second.
Don't take it too personally. I know a lot of things. Anyway, I mean, that's one. I wouldn't want to make all of you go against your will, but safety in numbers, for sure.
Yes. What are we supposed to do?
Seek and destroy.
Actually, quite simple. It's just quite simple. The part of the woods that you're told that you're not allowed to go, just go now. I am going to provide you. She takes a minute to look around as if she's like trying to feel the energies in the air with like one finger, and then she points to behind Adrian. There is a chest behind you, and she just goes, "Could you open that, Adrian?"
He opens it up. No question.
Welcome back.
Yeah. As you open it, there's a few things there, and she's almost like right next to you, sort of like inhumanly quick, and rifles through and pulls out a gold and very well maintained lantern. Ah, yeah, the light. I need you to bring light back to the floor. He hands it directly to you. Mostly because you're there.
He takes it. Is it heavy? Like, it's made of gold. Does it feel heavy?
It feels light, like a iron lantern or like a light metal lantern, but it looks sturdy.
He kind of sizes it up. And then he hands it to Ophelia.
And Ophelia, you too, if you decide to hold on to it. It looks like a solid gold lamp. Very well maintained, no dust, very, very clean. If you hold it, it feels like a regular lamp.
Okay. Well, Ophelia would observe the fine craftsmanship on the object, and then she would pass it on to Judith, probably.
Okay. So we're going to take this to the place we're not supposed to go normally and light it.
Yes.
Seems that way.
It's
I can
not
be the
lit by
carrier.
normal means.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, it's not lit by normal means. It's lit by a phrase, a little phrase or a word. Perhaps not quite magic, but magic. Looks at you
Magic.
kind of all like testing sort of like, yes, magic.
That doesn't exist.
If that doesn't exist, explain myself and your sister.
It's just the gods. You just,
Gods have their own kind of magic. It's called divine magic.
Yeah. But I don't have magic. Do I? Do I?
Argus snorts loudly.
And he's just staring at his fingers.
You do too, good boy.
I'm going to just like hand the lantern back to Ophelia.
Ophelia takes
hold on
it
to
back,
that.
but she's holding it like this.
Adrian is like, he's like trying to like zap with his fingers, like trying to make magic happen.
Okay, Adrian, it doesn't work because you're no longer holding it. Ophelia,
Oh.
you're holding it.
Yes, I
want you
can
to
pass it
say,
over.
I want
Yes, sorry, go on.
it's a game of
Holding
hot
it.
lantern. Okay. Hot gold lantern. What? Okay, whoever holds it. I don't care who holds it. One of you hold it.
I'm holding it. I'm good.
Good. I need you to say Lumeria.
Ophelia kind of still holding the lantern at arm's length. She's like, Lemuria. That it?
Forgot. You need to maintain an image of light or a light coming on or a flame as you're saying it. You need to close your eyes, imagine it, feel it, and then say Lumeria. I'm sorry, I'm not very clear in my instructions. Y'all aren't magic users.
At first, Ophelia looks like it takes all the power in her brain to figure something out. But eventually, she turns her mind to the forge. And she thinks about that and repeats the words, Lumeria.
You say it only once, and from your closed eyes, you see a glow emit. When you open your eyes, the lantern is lit, and the room is aglow with very pure, clean light.
Nice.
You all see this.
Ophelia makes an uncharacteristically loud yelp. But she doesn't drop the lantern. She holds it far away and she yelps. Does someone else want to hold this now? Like I did it. I turned it on. It doesn't have to be in my hands anymore.
And then it turns off. All you need to do is snap and think of the light going up. That's how magic works. Also, it helps if you can snap too. Not everyone can snap.
Adrian appears to be like trying, like really thinking about all of this and like really trying to like make mental notes of what's going on.
Argus is just like, you guys can't just do this. This doesn't come naturally to you guys.
Yeah, you kind of notice that they'll just look over. It's like they'll pick it up. They'll pick it up. It's fine. Now the four of you, like I said, need to have this split. When you get to the edge of the part of the woods that you're allowed to go, it's where the brush is thickest. Adrian, I'm going to count on your skills as a woodcutter to see where it is, where the wood is thickest. And also, the woods are not familiar when you get there. They're not. There's no known path. It doesn't look. You'll know what I mean when you get. It's a very obvious, clear sign of the edge.
Okay.
I don't mean this to frighten you, but what folks have been saying about the stories of Zachariah, there is something out there. He has done something. I need you to find out what it is. I will do my best to maintain and protect the village. See what I mean when I at least lead you outside of the hut to make sure that thing doesn't have any friends.
Gonna ask, do you have a back door to this place, or?
I, in fact, do.
Good.
And it's like, if we're all ready, unless there's any other questions.
No. Good.
Real sudden, but sure, let's do it.
I'll hop up from by the
I
fire.
appreciate I appreciate all of your service. All of your service. Thank you. This is for the benefit of our home. So she says nothing more and then guides you through area that is like your living and dining room, then to the kitchen, into a back door, where you pass something that's very familiar with most of your houses is that there is some form or other of like branch or briar or like bough over top of the back door or at any of the entrances of the doors. It's a little witchy thing. She opens up the back door, takes a look, sees, she goes, Argus, scout.
Alright. I'll take off.
Yeah, Adrian kind of stays behind and he looks at old Matilda. Sister had another episode today, but
I felt it.
I don't think I have to ask you about it. I think it has to do with this.
Oh, it certainly does.
I'll make sure it gets done. And he heads out after the group.
Believe in each other. Trust in each other. You're all you have when you're out there. And she looks at each and every one of you in your eyes very knowingly this way. This will be dangerous. But trust and believe in each other, all four of you. And then Argus. Who knows the way.
Right.
Well, Ophelia would try to lead behind Argus because she doesn't know the way, but she would lead the band. She's not particularly afraid of the woods or any of the things that they were warned about yet because it hasn't quite hit home, and there's a part of acting tough that's going on as well. She keeps her hammer near, holding on to it at her waist, just in case, with the lantern.
As each of you pass by, you each get something whispered to you quickly, so you get the full meaning of it. Adrian, you get the whispered sentence of, "Do not forget who you are. Do not forget where you are." Judith, you hear, "You have more courage in you than you feel."
Sure.
And and last but not least, our lantern bearer, I should say. Um, yeah, you get the sentence of, "Be kind to yourself. What happened was an accident. You are not responsible. Be kind." There's a reason why she said it also twice. Because this is the kindest voice that you ever heard her speak in up to this point.
Ophelia kind of stops in her tracks when she hears that at first, and then kind of like keeps going after stopping for a few seconds, but she stops to take it in, kind of.
And yeah, Matilda gives you sort of a sad smile and then nods. As you all get to the edge of the wood and you get off her back patio, she then sort of turns around to the rest of the village, raises her hands, and says the word Guardia. And you see from her feet in front of her a huge barrier of like rainbow light that starts with rainbow and then goes to clear, just surrounds the entire village, including them. The village is protected while I am alive. This barrier will remain. And she then turns to all of you. I wish you the best of luck. Go soon. Go quickly.
Sure. Sure. Shall we?
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's
And
get
this
it
is where we're
done.
going to take our break.
Yay! All right,
Yay!
we'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Neat. Oh, I love that. And we're back.
And we're back.
Uh, and okay, so for those of us who are just joining us, we're now entering the woods, where we've been told not to go when we were kids. Now we have full permission from a crazy wise lady who lives in the woods, who, by the way, just introduced a rainbow barrier over an entire village, and also introduced you all to at least basic magic in the world by getting you guys to turn on and off a lantern by magical means by use of a turn phrase. Lumeria is the word we're speaking today, and then a snap. Again, while maintaining images and manifestations. Blah, blah, blah. Magic, am I right? Our four heroes, so 3 humans and a dog, are heading into the forest as you begin to make your way into the woods. Some childhood memories of playing out in these woods, climbing trees, snapping some of the berries in the woods here. This is where you grew up. This is where you play. This is where you make friends. This is where some happy childhood memories may have happened. This is where maybe some not so very friendly childhood memories have happened. But these are your formative years. These were your formative years. And in these woods here is where those years happen. Argus, I'm going to have you do an action roll.
Okay.
I'm going to have you sniff out at this point there the route, because you got the good sniffer.
Okay.
If anyone would like to assist or anything like that in taking a route of where you guys are heading, again, you're told to avoid a certain part of the woods. You know generally where it is. At this point, you're looking for it.
Yeah, I feel like I would probably go out to where I'm distantly separated from everyone, leaving maybe X-shaped marks on the ground with my claws wherever I have to like make a quick turn, so that they can catch up to me. But yeah, so I don't know about assistance, but I probably am so excited about doing this that I'd probably be willing to take a devil's bargain. But let's see. I think for my move, I would be trying to please the old lady. The adjective, the trait I would use for this would be bright. That I'm trying to think ahead as good as a good boy can possibly do.
Yeah.
And
For the rest of you do see these X patches or X marks, claw marks that are that Argus is there, and they seem to indicate sort of a path that he's taken from what you all can tell. People do leave marks in the woods when trying to go out of things that are not easy. So you are familiar with these. You see that Argus, though a dog, is intelligent enough to do this.
Crazy. There's magic everywhere.
Just guess if you like. Oh, good. It's just maybe a word.
So normally I'd only have 2 dice for that, but I'm willing to take a devil's bargain if you have an idea for something bad that could befall me while I'm leading them toward the danger zone.
Okay. If you take the devil's bargain, you will lose your sense of taste.
My sense of
Taste.
taste? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds awesome. All right. Here we go. Okay. That is a partial success. So I am going to lose my bright trait for the rest of the session. All right. So,
and the hunks of meat you still have in your mouth suddenly don't taste as sweet and salty as they used to. You think maybe it's because it's run out of juice and it's just full of slobber, but no, more than that in there now. It actually does start to go.
Yeah, I spit them out, and are they rotted or?
When you spit them out, they sort of lost at least color at the very end. and they've not really rotted, but they have gone sort of a gray mush.
Gross. Yeah, I'll bury them to the best of my ability, and then run on toward my target.
Right. Are the rest of you keeping close by, or have caught up to Argus at this point?
Yeah, Ophelia would try to follow.
Yeah, just keeping track as long as I can.
Yeah, and I think Adrian would be kind of taking up the back, making sure that there's nothing following, if possible.
Yeah, nothing so far is following you. Not anything that looks like anything that was there before, or anything that might have looked like the creature before. As you guys catch up to Argus, he looks like he's just finished, like he's wearing something, quite happy and accomplished with himself. And Argus, you do get a wee bit of a faint sense or a tugging in a certain direction, and you have the urge to follow that direction.
All right.
And you trot on with purpose, with at least some kind of purpose. And you do see that he kind of like not necessarily darts off, but he does look in a direction and then starts to follow that.
Yeah.
Instinct and head towards.
But I'm going a lot slower this time to make sure that now that we're close, they can keep up with me and I won't leave them behind anymore.
Yeah, and anytime there's like a fork or any kind of like crossways or crossroads, you'll see Argus stop, look, and then if he has to look back and then follow direction that he finally decides, or that kind of feels is the way. And you do this for a couple of different turns until something about the woods no longer seems to know. There are no more childhood memories coming to mind. There are no more, because there's sometimes there'll be spots that's like, oh, this is where I hide and seek. This is where I found that apple that one time. This is where I saw a dead grouse. This is where suddenly it's like, this, I don't know where this is. And you got that sort of, you're lost feeling. You're back to being 6 or 7 years old, lost in the woods for the first time ever. Maybe it's the first time that you came across, or that feeling you got for the first time you came to a part where you weren't supposed to, and this is what the story happened, or this is the first time. You get that sort of lost feeling. The only thing you're relying on at this point is Argus. Adrian, you do start to remember the little thing that Matilda told you about things not being familiar, and it sort of makes that connection to you that you're getting. And not only does it look familiar, the very obvious oak and hardwood trees going to go into more softer wood and like birch, more flexible softwood trees. These don't really belong here. And upon closer inspection, they're not the most healthiest of trees either. Something doesn't look right or natural about these trees.
I think at one of the moments where Argus takes a moment to kind of get his bearings, Adrian would pull out a pocket knife and just try to like peel some of the bark off of the woods to see if like inside looks like it's dead or dying, or if it looks healthy on the inside.
Yeah, you've done this on a few of the closer in, more of the harder wood. They're absolutely healthy and fine. There's usually regular sap in there. There's life in the culture in there. There are bugs as well. There's life in there. You do one of these trees that don't necessarily belong, one of the birch trees. And when you pull back a birch tree, you should see at least a bright color, a bright yellow, a bright green light. When you look underneath and pull, and it takes some effort to do so, first of all, that's the one sign that it's not right. Well, it looks like it's beginning to rot. Like just the beginning phases of it.
Does it smell like it's rotting, or does it just
ask
look
that
like
too.
it's
very, very faint? But if you're actually sticking your nose in and smelling it.
Yeah, kind of like wafting from where I trimmed.
Argus,
Oh dear.
I kind of expected something like that
That was fast, though.
because there's like a buzzing echo.
Oh, where are we? There we are. Turn it back on.
Yep.
There we go.
Hi.
Yep, that looks better.
Oh.
Oh,
There we go. Hi.
Or
Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. There we go.
Let there be Rose.
The drama, the tension. I love it. Anyway.
You're really drawing out this scene. Really leaving
I
us
really
in there.
Argus, when you do, if you notice Adrian pulling back the bark, again because dogs' sense is a bit more sensitive, it smells definitely more of that for sure. And if it's something that you don't necessarily like, you might give out a whine or something like that. But you definitely that's a not good smell. That's for sure. That tree or that thing that you use as a bathroom from time to time, that's not good. Not a good smell.
Yep. I'll definitely let them know to the best of my ability that maybe when they throw down some of the bark, I'll give it a sniff and like kick it up, kick it away and stuff. Yeah.
You see Argus do is basically what they described, and it's just like that's in animal language. That's a big no.
That's boo boo.
I would say to the farmer of the group, that's definitely a recognizable sign that animal does not like what was produced to it. Judith, you would recognize that.
Ophelia is pretty oblivious body language of all creatures. So, unless someone tells her, she is none the wiser.
Do we still have a sense of direction, or like is it just literally we can't even tell which way we came at this point or something?
Great question. What you can tell right away is when you look in certain directions, you feel that's familiar, that's familiar, that's familiar, and then when you turn to one other direction, it's a lost feeling. The lost feeling seems more towards where you want to go and is strongest. But everywhere else, it seems you can find your way.
Okay.
You want to follow that lost feeling, it seems like. At this point, Argus is sort of out of commission. He's got a nose still full of rot.
Yeah.
For the time being at this point.
Yeah.
If we're supposed to go where we're not supposed to go, this place feels correct.
Yeah, now that you put it quite that way, I'll start. I'll find like a fresh piece of like dead leaves or something on the ground, but fresh, and I'll rub my nose in that to let them know that there's like something wrong, and that's why I've sort of been just going in circles for the last couple of minutes. So yeah, if anybody has anything they can do to help me recover my sense of smell, but otherwise, I trust that feeling. It probably that lost feeling probably doesn't hit me as hard as it does them because, yeah. So basically, if there's nothing we can do for my nose right now, then I'll be willing to follow Adrian if Adrian makes a decision about which way to go.
Yeah, so how this all gets communicated is, Judith, again, with your experience with animals and understanding their language, per se, it seems like he's like pawing and like trying to get something to his nose. It's like he's trying to like reset his nose, per se. From what you can tell about animals, anyways, with your experience in that. And his erratic behavior is sort of just like, come on, reset. And what he thinks to seem might have worked for him or will work eventually, it's taking its own sweet time. So there's something wrong with your guide dog at this point in time. If you want to relay that to the rest of your group.
Yeah. So Argus looks like he's kind of lost the trail a little bit, but that might be because he got something nasty up his nose. We might be on
Can we
our
do
own for a little bit.
anything?
Can I think of anything that would help reset an animal's sense of smell?
Not an animal person. Old Mutt's fine, and then she scratches Argus's ears, but
Aw.
That seems to help Argus.
That's
But I feel thanks.
Adrian can try to pick up the trail. He'll kind of look in the direction that he feels the most lost and just try to take a big old sniff and see if he can pick it up.
Are you quite covert about this movement, or is this quite an obvious action? Like you actually like, how do you do this action?
I think he would try to be stealthy about it. He would try to keep it a little on the down low.
Okay. In facing the direction where you feel the most lost, you do get that sense and that pull in that direction, for sure. As for what it smells like, that sort of similar smell of like growing rot, but not hugely that smell. Once you activate sort of your instinctual smells, that the one that you're able to access now, it becomes clear that that is the direction that you're going to go. And you have a trail.
Okay. Adrian will take a few steps that direction just to like confirm to himself that that's right. And then he'll point to the nearest tree that looks like it's dead and rotting and just be like, there's more dead trees. I think this way. And then he'll just start walking just without even like acknowledging and just go.
Yeah.
Jeez, don't wander off alone, and I jog to keep up.
Yeah.
He doesn't walk super fast. He's not a fast walker, but...
Well, I'll take up the rear at this point, then, and follow.
yeah, Ophelia would follow with Judith.
Well, Adrian is keeping an eye or nose on the trail. I am wanting to watch everything else because I'm used to keeping an eye out for predators and stuff.
Maybe we could do a big group action for getting the rest of the way there.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do this.
I have a pretty good analytic skill.
Ooh.
Like, not in a academic kind of way, but in an environment kind of way.
Nice.
Perfect.
Adrian,
I think that'll work just fine.
Do you want to lead it? Or
Sure.
do you want Ophelia to lead it?
Whomever wants to lead.
Whoever has an appropriate trait.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
analytic makes sense. What do you think?
yeah, I have a trait called organic, which is just supposed to like, my idea for that was just like you kind of get the natural state of things. You know, he's in the woods a lot,
Nice.
and so I think that might also work here as well.
Yeah, in this weird situation, that makes sense.
Makes sense to me that Adrian would lead it also, since he has the he has the knowledge of the tree.
Judith, what do you got?
I've got the move. I've got a move called Watch, which is just
Nice.
Keeping a watchful eye, generally. So I'm just watching the trees, especially the tree tops, because there's occasionally bigger birds of prey and stuff, and got to keep an eye out for that stuff too. So as we go, just watching.
and I'm eager to please. So.
Like a good dog.
All right. The dice spot does appear to be working again at this point, so if everybody wants to use it.
How many dice do we roll?
One if you have an appropriate move. A second one if you have a trait that you are willing to leverage. And third if you take a devil's bargain or get an assist, which since we're all working on this, we can't really assist each other.
Okay. Well, I have analyze for moves and observant for traits. So would those two work?
Yeah, if you get under a 6, you'll lose your trait. And I've already got a 6 on my very first roll.
I'll only use my move then, I guess. Because, yeah.
Use dot instead of exclamation point, but that still totally worked. That way it'll... Oh, it did show your name. Nice.
Did mine go through?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
I think the other dice spot went to sleep now, and the right dice spot is awake.
Of course.
And dang.
Oh.
I'm gonna leverage a trait. I'm gonna use the move calm, and leverage my organic trait.
Okay.
And let's hope.
What we got here?
Well,
partial success. Okay.
So because Jay got fail, Adrian's gonna lose the trait for the group action.
Yeah.
And since you didn't get a 6, you're gonna lose the trait that you used for your action as well. But the overall result is still a complete success. Rose, you have frozen again.
Frozen.
Frozen. There you go.
you're back.
And badder than ever.
And he composes every time I come back, so it's a regular thing, folks. So yeah, generally all together as a group, there are no animals here. There are no birds. There are no predators. There's no prey. The only animal here is Argus, but he's with you guys on a mission. Argus, you're able to maintain a scent and direction with Adrian, and the two of you are able to pinpoint your ways through the woods. I'm just going to narrate a little bit quicker at this point because we're delaying in the woods a little bit here. So you get to where the woods are actually the most concentrated. In fact, you get to a point where there's a huge concentration in almost a gate shape of a whole bunch of trees all close together. Adrian and actually everyone, considering what you saw was normal forest, and now this unnatural forest, and now this literally like this gate of wall of trees. This is not how trees grow. There is something behind this wall. But also in the surrounding area, it's also really dark. And it's starting to get darker. It was morning. You've not been traveling that long. It should be about afternoon and should still be daylight. It looks like dusk.
Mm-hmm.
You remember a little sort of a memory pings in your back of your mind. Bring light to the forest. Who's got the lantern?
Tis I. I have the lantern. And so Ophelia raises the lantern up ahead of the group, I guess. And is it still lit? Do I have to light it again?
It was turned off.
Oh, all right, right.
I showed you how to turn it off and explained how to turn it off. So you need to turn it on again.
So for a little bit there, Ophelia kind of is like, oh, what were the words again? Lu something, Lumin, Lumeria. And then snaps her fingers.
Well, when you do that, the light goes on, and because you snapped your fingers, it goes off
Oh, I thought, yeah. She looks at the others and she's like, I'm doing this wrong.
I think you're only supposed to snap if you want it to turn off.
Right. And
I
so
think it's
we'll.
just the word to turn it on. Try again.
Yeah,
So-
that sounds right.
All right. So she tries again. She goes, Lumeria.
The light goes on this time. One thing you might have noticed if you're looking at the wall of trees is when the light went on and then turned off again, you saw sort of where two were kind of close together, kind of like open and close again. This time, when the spell was set correctly and the light remains on, almost immediately and abruptly, the trees part, and there's a path down the woods. Adrian, you notice that as the woods go further and further in, and the trees seem more bent, kind of like a particular illustration that you saw earlier this morning. And it
Yeah,
is dark.
He's not very good at guarding his emotions, and his eyes grow really wide when he makes that connection.
You okay there, Adrian?
Very familiar, except it's not so charcoaly. It's still kind of evergreen, but then dark as you look further in.
Yeah, I think we're going the right way. And he almost instinctively looks at his fingernails and then shoves his hands in his pockets and just waits for somebody, and he's just looking around at all of you.
As you look down at your fingernails, they do look a little bit longer and sharper.
Yeah, right in the pockets.
You can kind of also feel your hackles come up a little bit. The urge and the instinct to do so happens usually when there's danger. This is dangerous.
Well, let's get this over with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I assume we're taking the lantern further in. So.
Yeah, I guess we just gotta step in. There's no turning back now.
You're holding the light. Let's have you lead for a second.
Sure.
I don't want to trip over any rocks.
Argus, I'm going to say you can feel a little bit of tentativeness from Ophelia when she's being told to take lead and the lantern's on.
Well, I'll get
How do you respond?
I would get right by her side and heal to her, and sort of stabilize her as we go. Even though it puts me at a disadvantage to be that close to the light, my instinct is to be, as far away from them as I can get. But as soon as I see her needing assistance, I'm gonna definitely assist her.
You feel, your little four-legged companion next to you.
Alright, well, Ophelia
Nothing little
pats him
about
on
an
the
Irish
head
wolfhound.
and is like,
That's
good
true.
boy.
A big little companion.
Yeah, large pup. And
Was it
then
3
she
feet at
steps
the shoulder?
forwards.
And I'm going to say you all make your way and stick together in a small group within the light of the lantern.
Yep.
And it's quite a bit of light, but you can definitely see where the edge sort of happens and how, even your shadows behind you, if anyone takes a look back or takes the point back, you do see that it's not just trailing behind like light should. It seems like it's closing up behind you. That your shadows aren't just shadows. And you have this feeling that you're being watched as you continue to walk. All of you then smell the smell of burning wood. Faintly at first, but then it grows. You see a light further ahead. If you look past the lantern, you do see that there's a light at the end there. Starts off as a little red glow, and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And you see a cabin not unlike one that might have been in your village, on fire.
Oh, Ophelia just stops.
Yeah.
She just
You
stops.
hear a very familiar voice call your name. It's a very, very familiar voice you've not heard in a very long time.
Wow, Ophelia stops right in her tracks. She shoves the lantern in whoever's hands is closest to her. So I assume at this point, I think Judith was first and Adrian was closing the march at this point. Something like that. So Judith, you just inherited the lantern. It is now your problem. And Ophelia runs towards the house.
Where are you going?
Wait.
Does anyone hold her back? Because she's just going.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
Argus is next to you.
yeah, I can't say I really have an ability to like hold you back, but if there's any like fear or tentativeness, I'm gonna get as close to you as I can get. If that will help make you feel like you don't have to necessarily move so quickly, then
I think Argus would have to actually like bite on her apron and try to hold her back for her to not go. Otherwise, she's going.
Gotcha.
She's going in the house.
Can the rest of us see it, or just Ophelia?
Yep, you all see it.
Okay.
You all see it. You also see Ophelia make a bold dash away from the lantern, which doesn't seem like a good idea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely make an attempt to protect her by grabbing a hold of her apron. That sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely dangling close to my mouth, so perfect.
We'd like you to do
Good
an
leather
action roll.
apron.
I'd like you to do an action roll if you could, Argus.
Yeah. I'll do please and eager.
Okay.
So, like a resistance roll.
And I was gonna say
place.
actually, Ophelia would do the resistance roll because you want to get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see what the resistance is. I want to play this out.
Mm-hmm. So who's making the roll?
I believe it's gonna be. Actually, let's have Ophelia do this roll.
All right.
I'll give you a die for an assist if that'll work. With eager. Okay. So I'll leverage eager.
And how many die should I roll? Is the other question.
Depends on your if you have a move and a trait that you want to use.
Let's see. I had my character sheet. I did it.
No.
Sadly, I only have a move against. Like, I have stubborn. My trait is stubborn.
Gotcha.
So.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Alright, so 2 dice then.
Yeah.
Ooh! Look at that.
Complete success.
Despite the pull of your four-legged friend pulling you back and not, you do manage to exit the circle of light and sort of head into the darkness towards the light of the burning house. You feel immense guilt for what happened. You take it on fully as the darkness surrounds you and as the light of the hut and the desperation in the voice calls out to you, Ophelia! 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 The voices continue, and the house itself takes on almost a nightmarish form. Its edges are more jagged, its fire is more red, it almost seems like the house itself has eyes. It sprouts arms and legs that push up and high away from you to get away and not access it, and looks down at you as if this is your fault.
Ophelia. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to
In
say,
the back of your
Adrian,
mind, despite all the guilt and in the darkness, you remember the words, "Bring light to the forest." Don't be too hard on yourself. This is not your fault. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's old Matilda's voice and the words that she gave you, and they just play in your head. Do you try and reach out and connect to those words?
Yes. I think so.
As you feel it, as you allow it, and as the guilt subsides and sort of some form of absolution or resolve fills your heart and your soul, you do start to cry. This was a very traumatic thing that happened to Ophelia, and it's a very sad thing that happened. But she is being told by someone who knows quite a bit that it's not her fault. And it isn't. It wasn't your fault, Ophelia. The house seems to look like it takes injury and very jaggedly brings back the arms, the legs reduce, the fire dims and slows down, and almost a light or a glow kind of comes down and lights the house. You no longer hear screams of desperation, and the house itself is ash. Well, is burnt. It looks like the way it looked after the fire was.
Yeah.
Empty. And it's no longer home, but you feel relief. You feel freedom, and you feel rebirth and renewal. What you also see is a young you in the empty house, in the skeleton of what was the house. And then you see the smith, who's behind you and puts a hand on you. And the image disappears, and you're back with your friends. Your face is very much tear-stained at this point.
Oh, yeah, all the dirt on her face would have, there would be, tears, streams of tears through the dirt on Ophelia's face. While she was running towards the house, she would have screamed for her mom's name, probably, which I honestly haven't come up with. I'm sorry.
well, what child calls their parent by their first name?
Yeah, probably mom is what she was screaming. I mean, I called my mom by her first name, but we have a weird relationship. Yeah, so she's on her knees crying, but she's no longer running towards the nightmare house that isn't anymore.
And yeah, the whole image just sort of fades, and what's left, and so the last image that you see is actually, I think, the only kind of contact you had with your father before the awkward silences as you got older, is that he knelt down to your small frame and hugged you. And he hugged you as long as you needed. And not so much the mournful thing, that's the last time that you've probably hugged, that you really needed a hug. And then that image fades, and the path resumes.
Gonna walk up.
Carry on.
Yeah, of course. She'll get back up on her feet and wipe her tears and look at the others and be like, what did you see of that?
You guys saw everything that you saw. You guys saw absolutely everything that she saw. The nightmare house, it grew legs, it shrunk back down. You didn't hear what she heard, but you did see what happened, and then it seemed to have resolved. Something fixed it.
We saw everything, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Really sorry about that. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'll be fine. I'm just glad that I got to go through it again, I guess. It's been years. So. Yeah. I think I'm ready to continue ahead and go on. There's nothing else to do, right?
Onward, then, I guess.
I'll raise the lantern high and step forward.
And Judith, and you're the one who's carrying the lantern at this point in time, right?
Yes.
Okay. You feel like you've all also overcome something as well, so there's that in your feelings as well as you continue on down the path.
Rose,
Judith,
I hate
as
to
you
tell you that you have frozen because you froze in such an adorable position. But
It's a good picture.
yeah, it was a good shot.
Yeah.
before you do that kind of comment on me there. All right. As I was saying before, Judith, as you carry on and take lead at this sort of point in time, you do see one of the few village children. It's Gertrude, her hair done up in two little buns and in her small little apron. And she's with a group of friends, and they're all laughing and giggling. And this is a familiar scene to you. This kind of happened to you when you were a kid. There had been rumors about you growing up, but they usually just been poo-pooed as this absolutely nothing. And as you approach, Gertrude turns around, as do a bunch of other children's heads, and they look at you and go, "Who are you? Who are you?" And they sort of kind of encircle at the edge of the light, but they're looking directly at you, Judith. Just Judith, and the rest of you who are watching can see it's just Judith that they're looking at. And each one sort of echoing and overlapping, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?"
I'm me. Shut
Are
up.
you, though? Who's that? Who is that? Who are you?
I kind of just shrink in on myself because this is too much.
Do you feel the urge to change anything since they don't seem to be convinced that you know who you are? You feel something could use an adjustment, or you think that maybe a hair color could be different?
Yeah. I look around and I pluck features from the others and start. My face and my body start shifting, and I start looking like the other children. I barely notice I'm doing it. My face morphs. My nose becomes more, bulbous in one area, and my forehead shortens. My hair color lightens. I even grow 2 inches until I'm as close as I can get to an approximation of, looking like them that I can try and pull out at this time.
And if I can ask, Judith, did you have sort of like a base sort of form that you looked, and now you look completely different, or are you just a variation of what you looked before?
I look very different at this point. Because I had I looked rather plain, just, sort of mousy hair and a thin, wiry frame. A messy braid down the back, pale clothes. But I'm bulkier now and taller. Like I said, my hair is lighter, and I probably have darker skin, just mimicking the children that are chanting at me essentially.
The chanting has changed from chanting to, "Oh my God, look at that! Look at that! Who is that?" And then it goes into a bit of little giggles at first, and then into raucous laughter. At this point, as if everything you try to do, everything you attempt to do, doesn't seem to placate, and now they're being given ammo to make fun of you. You feel sort of lose. You feel yourself sort of lose who Judith is, who she was, and then you hear and see a little bit of something in the back of your head that plays. You have more courage than you realize. That's what you heard. But then you remember something from your mother who's told you it takes a lot of courage to be who you are. And I love you for who you are. And behind the crowd of children, you see your mother and her big arms and open wide for a hug. Do you hold on to her and do you head towards her image?
I absolutely run toward her, and as I go, the features that I'd stolen, that I'd borrowed, and tried to make my own melt away to my normal form. And I just kind of collapse into my mother's arms. And
you also hear the words, "and bring light to the forest." And yeah, you're back home again, it feels. And all of you see her, Judith, change back into what Judith was before, into who she truly was. You do feel then this image slip away as you come back into yourself, and you feel a strength and resolve in yourself. Something you've always had. And it's weird that you've lost it for a moment. But sometimes most of us just need a reminder that who we are is really, really awesome. And just needs reaffirming. And you've always had a support network, it seems. Judith has always had a support network to remind her of who she was. And no one's questioned anything about you, even since, until you started being yourself. And you're back in the circle of light with the rest of your friends. The lantern, by the way, is just on the ground, standing upright.
I was going to say, I probably dropped it to run.
And all the image and the children and everything is gone. You see, you guys see a Judith that's she's kind of been through the ringer a bit.
This place sucks.
Did we see her transform?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You saw everything.
She gets a lick from me.
I scratch behind the ears.
Poor Pepper grows every day.
Ophelia would come up to Judith, and she is one of few words, but she puts a hand on her shoulder and she gives it a little, shake. And then she hesitates for a bit. She's like, "You're all right the way you are now."
You don't have to change yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. Anyway, let's go.
Who's got the lantern?
Adrian is just apprehensively looking at the lantern on the ground. He kind of suspects that no one else is going to pick it up, but he doesn't want to. He's not sure he's ready to take his hands out of his pocket. And with kind of a large sigh, he just goes for it, and he picks up the lantern.
I'll place a hand on one of your shoulders and just supportingly got your back sort of thing.
We'll head into the fray, I guess.
Immediately, as soon as you pick up the lantern, the trail ahead is very clear where it needs to go. With the strength of your two friends and also your four-legged best boy there, you all get along through the path and come to a singular growing tree. Or sorry, glowing tree. I'm really into this. Behind it, you see someone in fairly simpler, if not a little bit elaborate, old-fashioned clothing. More so than what you were wearing. And he is looking at this glowing tree, and he himself is glowing as well, as if he's similar to it. And then an image sort of pushes through you, or not pushes through you, but doesn't move you. It basically sort of like goes through kind of like light and then reforms in front of you. And it's a young girl with a single braid in her hair, probably about the same age as the young man looking at the tree. And in very, very simple robes as well. And she looks at him and says, "Zachariah, what are you doing?" The man turns.
Uh-oh. Lost you audio and video that time.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Just when we were gonna learn all the good lore.
Oh, the good
Sorry, I
stuff.
met Zacharias.
Ah,
Oh God! Every time.
Zachariah's fault.
Zachariah.
Maybe just leave my camera off.
Screw you,
No, it's
Ezekiel.
just...
Then Mia will be trapped in the in between
Yeah.
space.
Yeah,
It's like it's
I
over
mean,
here.
I can lean into Rose's square and like,
Mia,
Take
Ophelia
space.
/ the lore weaver.
exactly. Maybe someday. Anyway, sorry.
Okay. Anyways, Zachariah turns around, and you do recognize him as Zachariah Dubois, the founder, because there have been some pictures of him that you might have been shown or have seen. And he looks at this girl and he just goes, "This is where we build our village. This is where we live. This is our home now." And the woman there is like, "You're making a hard, hard deal with the forest to do this. Are you sure you're willing to pay the cost?" And it's in that question that that voice from the young girl sounds familiar. As Zachariah nods and says, "Matilda, I know exactly what I'm doing." He turns around, takes a knife from his pocket, slashes his hand, and pushes it on the tree, and enters it. You see young Matilda turn around and sadly go back to the forest and goes, "It's home, but I've lost you too." And she walks past you guys and her image disappears. As you approach the tree, because this seems to be your goal, the image of now an older looking version of Zachariah in very similar clothing, goatee, mustache, exits the tree and goes, "Why did you bring that blasted thing in here with you? Don't you know that that's how we lose our village and our home? Don't you know that this existence, this life that I'm in right now, has everything to do with your home? You understand the sacrifices that your older childhood friends made when they came into this wood and gave themselves to me willingly? All the temptations I seem to have thrown at you, you've bested and overcome." One sec. Frozen again.
Didn't look frozen to us.
Yeah.
And look, it's frozen to me. So yeah, every single test that I've tried to throw at you, you've bested, and now you're here. You should all give yourselves up. You've been kicked out. People don't love you anymore. And you all feel Zachariah's kind of a dick. Won't tell a lie.
Yeah. The fuck?
And at this point, he actually just looks more at Adrian more than anything and goes, actually, there is one more test I can do. And he points at you. Adrian, with no control absolutely whatsoever. Your nails grow sharper. You grow fur. You grow a little bit taller. And you, in fact, become that of your nightmares. You become the full beast. And everyone can see it. Everyone present can see it. What do y'all? Y'all just saw a werewolf.
Ophelia is like ready to strike with her hammer. Like she just pulls her hammer from her waist and she's like, that thing is not Adrian.
And then
I've just
you hear,
gone still.
Adrian, you hear Zachariah's voice go, you see? They turn on you the second you transform. Don't you know it's not safe to change back now that they know? It'd be best if they were just gone.
This sounds familiar enough to my stuff that I'm going to aim at Zachariah with my bow.
Okay.
And yeah.
I'm gonna get you an action if my computer wakes up. Yeah. Is there an action that you can do to take a good...
I'm going to use my move aim.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I guess, use my trait still to steady myself. And I don't necessarily want to make this an attempt to kill, but this guy needs to be taken down a peg. So I aim for his leg.
Okay. From what you can tell, his torso has emerged from the tree, so he's sort of leaning out of the tree. He doesn't have any leg or anything like that available there. You can, if you so chose, aim for the face or an eye or the torso.
Are we talking about Adrian or Zachariah?
I'm Zachariah.
Okay.
Zachariah.
Because this is a little, too close to my stuff, changing. So, I'm going to aim at one of his shoulders.
Okay.
And
yeah, roll me 2 dice.
Partial success.
Okay. So, I believe it's a partial success. I believe they lose a trait. Sorry, Gavin, help me out.
Yeah, you lose the trait and you get a consequence.
Okay.
But you are successful.
Cool. And I'll narrate this out. Again, coming from a place of knowing the phrase "know thyself," essentially, you get an image of your dad who's sort of next to you, and he's giving you a demonstration when you were a little kid about how to let an arrow fly. He goes, remember, both eyes open, look at your target, and breathe in, and let it fly. as your hand lets go and your arrow flies. It does make purchase and hit Zachariah in the shoulder, pinning him into the glowing tree. This seems to encumber him. However, he looks at you and points at you. You drop your bow, and your bow then falls to the ground with a loud thud. And it is really heavy to pick up. It's turned to stone.
Ah. That doesn't help.
However, Zachariah is pinned to the tree, and he looks a little bit encumbered at this point in time. Adrian, because of this action, you get a moment of clarity. Initially, you had like a fight or flight feeling that encroached on you that you were going to instinctually use, especially on Ophelia, who had just said, "That's not Adrian." What do you choose to do at this point? You have now a moment of clarity and agency, but you're still a huge wolf form.
Yeah, I think he takes a big breath and just charges at this being coming out of the tree. Full on claw bite attack.
Okay, that too is going to be an action.
You're gonna huff and fluff.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping to use my move Surprise. I'm hoping that this Zachariah thinks that he might have a hold on me because he's kind of made me turn and isn't expecting me to charge. Hoping to kind of get me off. And then I'm gonna leverage my fearless trait to give me a second die.
Roll it.
Okay.
Can I throw an assist in there? I still have eager, so I'll do what I can to throw him off the track. Basically, be a distraction.
All right.
Okay.
3 die.
Ooh.
That. Oh my god. The worst possible roll on 3 dice.
Gavin, every time I roll these dice.
Unfortunately, Gavin, then you lose your trait.
Me too.
And any consequences that Adrian suffers, I might suffer as well.
At this point, with the free hand after being pinned to the tree and actually taking care of Judith's blow, he sort of points, sort of like, 2 fingers at the two of you, and you both are frozen and levitated into the ground, and then dropped, as if to cause injury. I think you can do a resistance to this one. I'm not sure, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to resist this if possible. But you are being held, and then just dropped.
Yeah, I think I'll take it. I'm thinking maybe a sprained leg, like I land badly on my front leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your back legs are still good. You have one sprained leg. Oh. I should avoid injuries to animals, but unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It's no problem.
Don't make us add this stream to the doesthedogdie.com.
Yeah.
Oh no, this dog is not going to die. We're not going to have a dog in this.
I chose not to resist. It's okay.
Okay.
I can.
Declan, do you choose?
I think I will try to resist.
Okay.
I don't know what to use. I guess I can use calm.
It's spend an appropriate gear, such as armor, or make a roll to resist a single consequence. A resistance roll begin with a 1 die or 0.
I think we effectively went 0 on this one. We started out low. Yeah.
There is If you're able to use a move, I can give you at least 1 die for sure.
Um,
It's better than no die at all. Then you take it.
yeah, I don't know if I really have a good move. The only one I can think is calm, but I'm not sure necessarily how to use that.
Just
I'm-
when you get lifted into the air, you are like completely rational about it. You're like, okay, I'm in the air, I have no control, but what I do have control over is how I land.
I'm willing to do that.
Wolf-like reflexes.
We'll try. Yeah. We'll see.
And do you have any traits left?
No.
Okay. So you're out of traits
No.
completely?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Gotcha. So if you roll a 1 through a 5 on this, you will be taken out.
Okay.
Um,
I rolled a 1, so.
Well, yeah.
oh,
Well, Ophelia, you don't have to worry about the werewolf Adrian anymore because they're out like a light.
Oh,
Does a
well,
werewolf
that
count
would,
as a dog?
that would
Uh,
make Ophelia realize that it was, in fact, Adrian, probably this whole interaction, and I think it would make her quite upset. And she might attack this man who is now pinned on the tree with her hammer rather than the werewolf. So she might use her move batter
okay.
it's good
with
for
the hammer.
it's good for Zacharias and it's good for fish.
Exactly.
Sure is.
Or pancakes.
Mm.
Delicious. So that's 1 dice.
That is a partial success.
Not too bad.
Excellent. So, what does end up happening is then full tilt, full run, even like full some form or other of battle cry.
Yeah.
You make your way and run over, and you lift your hammer, and then you raise it and swing it, and you connect with his jaw, and his head goes sickeningly to one side. Your hammer breaks,
Whoa.
unfortunately, but it like splits, so it's still fixable. It just needs a new handle, but your hammer does break.
Good thing I'm a blacksmith. I'll fix it. So she picks up the pieces.
At this point, you do hear a very raucous and very angry sort of sounding Zachariah was just like, "You foolish children, you only resist. You only resist. What would your families think of all of you?" I'm going to allow one more action from our goodest boy. Because I don't think he resisted, but I don't think he did full action. Keep in mind, you're on the closet now. That is fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty low on everything, but I think I have an ability called lie detector that I would like to use against him to try to just figure out if there is any level of honesty there, or if he is if this is a trick, basically whether we should finish him off or whether there is truth to it, because it's sort of outside of my realm. Like, I'm not having quite the same experience as everybody else is, and so it's really hard for me as a dog to like judge that. Do I think that there's like honesty there, or so basically I pause for a second and try to really, size him up as far as that goes.
From the last statement that he made, from what happens, pretty much what I just imitated, is that you look at him, you stop, and you tilt your head like you're listening. What he's saying is wrong. So to translate in human terms, he's lying.
All right.
What he's saying is, that's not right. No. That's not, no.
All right.
Human.
In that case, yeah, I'm going to spring onto him and try to bite him in the face.
Roll it.
Alright.
Can I give an assist
I would love an assist.
of finishing him
You wanna
off? I
give him
still
a
have
beat?
a knife.
Do you have a trait?
Uh, I have. I'm not sure I have a trait that works with this action though. I have stubborn, calm, and observant.
You still have all 3 of those?
Yeah, I didn't lose because I had a 6 when I used
Nice.
stubborn.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Maybe calm, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hammer just broke, but I got this. And I see Argus coming up and, like, jumping, and I'm like, yeah, gonna finish that guy off. I pulled a knife from my waist.
awesome.
Did we
Throws a
lose Rose?
knife in his teeth, and he slashes the guy with the knife in his teeth. Just like, wow, okay. I'll suspend some belief, but that's a little.
and I'll use my last trait as well, waggish. Alright, 3 dice.
Ooh.
The result is
Ooh!
complete success. So yeah, I leap from the ground, and the 2 of us like pincer him. Ophelia with her dagger, and me with my teeth. And just when he turns away from me, I spring up and bite him in the face and just tear off whatever I can get and run away with it. And let Ophelia try to finish him off.
And stab him right in the kidney.
Nice.
Or right for the side back part that hurts.
Once the face comes completely off, there's emptiness instead. There's like a big, huge, gaping void, essentially.
Nice.
As soon as the knife then makes purchase into an organ, a kidney, or anything like that, he erupts in sort of a magical into particles of light that just scatter and then lift off the ground and disappear.
Nice.
Argus, the face that you've ripped off, that's in your and that's in your maw currently.
Mm-hmm.
It too sort of just like erupts and just floats away afterwards.
I'm like, damn, everything I bite turns to dust.
The true struggles of the doggo.
I don't get a solid piece of meat.
At this point, we're actually definitely at the end of the game for sure. So
Sweet.
I'm just gonna narrate that at this point.
Hey, you want to try a debrief roll and see how that goes?
Honestly, yeah, I want to do that.
Fun.
I want to do it.
If you want, your camera is frozen.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you want to have that unfrozen for the end.
Oh.
There we go.
I was cut in half for
Yeah,
a second there.
It was almost
It's okay.
as horrible.
Now
as...
you know how Zachariah felt.
Exactly. That's
Exactly.
what I was thinking.
I mean, I am a being of the void, so it's quite fitting. It's quite alright.
And sorry, Gavin, help me out here. With the
Yeah, you want the questions?
I know how many dice. Just
Oh, okay. It's just dot that number of dice and then the letter D. And then did the frickin' thing go down again?
Of course.
Just in time.
Up to exclamation
It sure
point?
did. Just do exclamation point 3.
Point 3 D.
Just 3. It won't say, but we'll have to look it up. The result is
A
critical. Awesome.
Wild.
Wow. Okay. All right. Here's what
Wow.
happens. I was even going to narrate it as this happens anyway, but with the fact of critical success, okay, a lot of good things happen in that case then. The glowing tree that Zachariah emerged from, it's still lit. But the darkness and the lost feeling and everything negative about this part of the woods that you've entered, and even the darkness, lifts. And the tree remains glowing, and all of you, even those who don't comprehend languages, hear the word thank you. And it's as if the tree then just goes to sleep, and the light dims. The lantern also vanishes into glittering light and floats away towards the sunlight. Your time sense returns, and it feels it is about early evening, late afternoon. With everything all zapping and back to light, there is a gathering of those same little light particles. They all go to Adrian, and Adrian, your eyes open, you're returned to human form, and you stand back up on your feet.
Not pause? Oh man, I miss my doggy friend.
And then afterwards, same sort of particles of light actually track around you, Argus. And suddenly your paw doesn't feel so hurt anymore. And when you put it down, it doesn't hurt at all.
Wow.
And you scan to prove that it's A-okay. And also the sense of taste is returned, and you hungry, and you want to taste some salty meats.
I'm gonna go run back into the woods and go dig up that meat that I buried. Bye, y'all. Just run off.
Argus runs off. Yeah, the three of you gather and see that everyone's okay. And after a good check-in, it's sort of when you all then decide, as a group, to head back into the village. You're greeted by Matilda, Judith's mother and father. Oh god, I'm getting short-term memory loss. Adrian's brother and sister, and Ophelia's father, the smith. All the important people in your lives who believe in you, who loved you, are there. It seems that there is this unwritten and unsung and unspoken agreement that the tradition of youths having to leave their home sort of without their own choice or consent sort of ends with this generation with you. You have the choice to leave or to stay. Whatever you decide to do, you have your family's blessing, you have the God's blessings, and every once in a while, if you need a little encouragement, Matilda's always there to nudge you in the right direction, or send a furry companion alongside you to make sure that you're okay. Argus, I'm going to say also that you no longer need to find a space to sleep just in the streets. You actually find a permanent home with old Matilda, who says she could use more companionship, and she has a nice big warm pillow with your name on it.
Nice.
And you do. And you get all the fresh meats, no garbage, everything or table scraps that she has available there. Judith, you continue to live your life happily on the farm, with the animals, with all those that you make a proper connection with. Adrian, there will be a point in time where you might decide to leave, but at this point in time, it feels right to remain here and to keep your sister company and help your dad as he gets older. Ophelia, the choice is yours. You can leave to try some new different things and have everything, and you have a new courage and resolve to do so. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that you've yet to learn, and your dad is eager to teach. If you bring up the fact that you want to be an apprentice, he's happy to offer you an apprenticeship, and so that you continue the forge when he's gone.
Yeah, Ophelia definitely would take the apprenticeship first and consider seeing the world after.
Awesome. Whatever you all decide, the future is now in your hands to decide from now on. And for any future generations who also come of age, the future is in their hands as well. And it can be as early or as late as they want. And that's the end of the Heart of the Village.
Yay!
Thank you, everyone. We go a little bit longer. I apologize, but we went a little bit longer than I anticipated, unfortunately. But I had a really good time. I hope everyone here had a really good time.
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
Little touchy
Great
feelings
story.
moments, a wee bit of railroading on my part, but I'm just like, let's just keep on the. Yeah, I think at this point we just want to reintroduce everyone. What are your socials? Where can we find you guys? And I think we'll go. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let y'all figure that out because I don't know what order you went into because I was having technical difficulties. So whoever wants to go first with your names, pronouns, and your socials, go for it.
Also,
You
they'll be
should
in the
go
credits.
first.
They'll be in the credits as well.
Oh,
You
perfect.
should go.
Exactly.
You should go first, Rose, since
Yeah.
you have technical difficulties.
Yeah, you're doing good right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, for all we know, your camera is gonna explode or something.
the phone is like it's overheating, and I'm just like I need to get off this. So. My name is Rose. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me at all social medias at Rose Bulbasaur or on Twitter at Rose_Bulbasaur. If you don't like any of that stuff, I also have a spicy OnlyFans account where you can find my stuff. It is onlyfans.com/cottagepoorbabe. That's WHOORE.
Oh. And you froze right at the end of that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Right
there
on
you go.
Perfect
Awesome.
timing.
Yeah, that was great.
Great.
That was perfect.
Which heard the term OnlyFans and was just like, get her out, get her out, get her out.
Nope. Not on my watch. God damn it.
We are spicy accountant friendly here on
Yes.
Balsamic Games.
Yeah. I have a secret spicy account that only Gavin follows.
Yep, I'm the only follower.
Oh, my man.
You're not. My God.
Yeah, how about Jacqueline?
Sure, yeah. Hi, I'm Jacqueline, she, her. You can find all my social media links in my link tree /it's Kikilia. And I'm just gonna plug a YouTube channel that my friends and I, Rose being one of those, just launched this year in 2023. Called Otherworldly Ventures. We have our Icewind Dale D&D 5e campaign running. Go check it out. Give us a follow. Yeah, that's really it. That's what I got going on.
Cool. Mia?
Yeah. So you can find me on like Twitter, Tumblr, ArtStation, Facebook, most platforms at Robot Rainbows. And it will be, like Gavin said in the description during the credits, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing everywhere for me. I keep it simple. I mostly draw. These days I mostly complain about stuff, but
That's what our
and
Discord's
comment
for.
on Gavin's Wordles. But it's true. Well, they look like images anyway. So, but the purpose of most of my social media is to share art that I make. So sometimes my commissions are open. Right now they aren't because I'm busy with my day job, but eventually they will be. I take commissions. So yeah, check it out if you're interested.
Yeah.
I drew a lot of Morningstar for
Yeah.
those who are into that.
And awesome pig fan art too.
I did, yeah. I did Penelope.
If my phone,
Persephone.
Yeah, Persephone. If my phone didn't die during the game, I would show off your flying pig that you did of Persephone. That was so great. It's still my lock screen. So
nice. Oh, that's super cool. I love when my stuff gets used.
Jay.
I'm Jay. She, her pronouns. I am basically everywhere that I am long shot link on Twitter, Tumblr, all sorts of places. I don't do much with them, but come say hi if you want.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Gavin, they, them, and I'm usually the forever GM on Balsamic Games. This is one of the very, very few games on this channel that I didn't run, although I did write the game. Not this adventure, but the game writ large. We normally run another game that Andrea, my partner, and I made, Children of Midnight Coven, on this channel. We will be playing that again this coming Tuesday. But before that, on Monday, we will have another Plunged into the Dark game that will be lore woven by Vice, one of our other Discord members. So
And
yeah,
you'll have to live with me again, also, because
you're
I'm
going to be
also
in that one too. I think
Yeah.
I think I'm in that one too.
You
yeah.
are in that one, yeah.
So we'll be back together again on Monday, and then Tuesday we will be making a brand new coven for Children of Midnight Coven on Twitch with the support and assistance of everyone in chat. So if you have ideas for what might be cool to see in a coven of witches in our game, then feel free to come in here and shout them out, and you might change the direction that the future runs in. And that game will be with Morningstar Megan and Azalwyn, myself, and Andrea.
Old Matilda.
And old Matilda. Yeah.
You know, Matilda.
She belongs in the coven.
Yeah.
She's gonna run the coven.
But yeah, you can find everything we do at anything.com/Balsamic Games. We're Balsamic Games on everything. So real easy to find. And thank you so much, Rose, for being our first lore weaver of 2023. And thank you all for playing. Jacqueline, Jay, and Mia again. And we will see you all very, very soon. Thanks
Thanks
you.
a bunch. And also thank you to Gavin for running the stream because I couldn't do it myself.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Bye.
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 Bye.